right, good morning. We are back with another read aloud, and I am at the swings that you guys usually swing so much at, and we are on chapter number 10. I don't know if you can hear, but the sheeps are making their noises as well as the goats. You can hear them from here, it's kind of nice. Okay, the title of this chapter is The Disappearing Island. It happened once that the children in Chingy had a most unpleasant adventure, and it was all Molly's fault. The wishing chair grew its wings one bright sunny morning, just as the three of them were planning a game of pirates. Molly saw the red wings growing from the legs of the chair and cried out in delight, "Look, the chair is off again. Let's get it and have an adventure." They all crowded into it, and in a second the chair was off through the door and into the air. It was such fun, for the day was clear and sunny, and the children could see for miles. The chair flew on and came to the towers and spires of fairyland. They glittered in the sun, and Peter wanted to go down and visit the prince and princess they had once rescued. But the chair still flew on. It flew on over the land of gnomes and over the land of toadstools, and last came to a bright blue sea. "Hello, hello," said Chingy, peering over the edge of the chair. "It's never been as far as this before. I don't know if we ought to fly over the sea. The chair might get tired, and then what would happen to us if we all came down into the sea?" "We won't do that," said Molly, pointing to a blue island far away on the horizon. You guys know what the horizon is. "I think the chair is making for land over there." The chair flew steadily towards it, and the children saw that the land they had seen in the distance was a small and beautiful island. It was packed with flowers, and the sound of bells came faintly up from the fields and the hills. "We mustn't go there," said Chingy suddenly. "That's Disappearing Island." "Well, why shouldn't we go there?" said Molly. "Because it suddenly disappears," said Chingy. "I've heard of it before. It's a horrible place. You get there and think it's all beautiful as can be, and then suddenly it disappears and it takes you with it." "It can't be that horrible," said Molly longingly, looking down at the sunflower-spread island. "Oh, Chingy, you must be mistaken. It's the most beautiful island I've ever seen. I do not want to go. There are some lovely birds there, too. I can hear them singing." Forgot to turn that part on. "I tell you, Molly, it's dangerous to go to Disappearing Island," said Chingy crossly. "You must believe me." "You're not always right," said Molly obstinately. That means stubborn. "I want to go there, wishing chair. Fly down to that lovely island." At once the chair began to fly downward. Chingy glared at Molly, but the words had been already said. He couldn't unsay them. Down the chair flew, down and down. The brilliant island came nearer and nearer. Molly shouted in delight to see such glorious bright flowers, such shiny winged birds, such plump soft rabbits. The chair flew swiftly towards them, and then, just as they were about to land in the field spread with buttercups as large as poppies, among soft-eyed bunnies and singing birds, a most strange and peculiar thing happened. The island disappeared. One moment it was there and the sun was shining on its field, and the next moment there was only a faint blue mist. And then splash! They were all in the sea. Chingy knew. Molly and Peter were flung off the chair into the water. Chingy grabbed the back of the chair and reached his hand out to the children. They clambered back onto the chair, which was bobbing about on the waves, soaking wet. "What did I tell you?" said Chingy angrily. "Didn't I say it was Disappearing Island? Now see what's happened. It's gone and disappeared. And we've fallen into the sea. A nice pickle we are all in, all wet and shivery." Molly went red. How she wished she hadn't wanted to go to Disappearing Island. "Well, I didn't know it was going to disappear," so suddenly, she said. I'm very sorry. Not much good being sorry, said Peter gloomily, squeezing the water out of his clothes. How are we going to get to land? As far as I can see, there's water around us for miles. The chair's wings are wet and it can't fly. The three of them were indeed in a dreadful fix. It was fortunate for them that the chair was made of wood, so they had something to cling to. They bobbed up and down for some time, wondering what to do. Suddenly, to their surprise, a little head popped out of the sea. What kind of head do you think popped out of the sea? Here's a picture.
Could be a mermaid.
Any clues?
It could be a mermaid.
Emma thinks maybe it's a mermaid. I don't know. Hello, it said. Are you wanting help? Yes, said Chingy. Are you a merman? Oh. I am, said the little fellow. The three children looked down at him, and through the green water they could see his fish-like body covered with scales from the waist downwards and ending in a silvery tail. Do you want to be towed to land? Yes, please, said Chingy joyfully. That will cost you 1 piece of gold, said the merman. I haven't any with me, but we will send it to you as soon as we get home, promised Chingy. The merman swam off and came back riding on a big fish. He threw a rope of seaweed around the back of the chair and shouted to Chingy to hold on to it. Then the fish set off at a great speed, towing the chair behind it with Chingy and the children safely on it. The merman rode on the fish all the way, singing a funny little watery song. It was a strange ride. Soon they came to land, and the children dragged their chair out of the water onto the sun-baked sand. Thank you, they said to the merman. We will send you the money as soon as we can. The merman jumped on the fish again, waved his wet hand, and dived into the waves with a splash. We'll wait till the sun has dried the chair's wings, and we'll dry out our own clothes, said Chingy. Then we'll go home. I think that was a most unpleasant adventure. We might have been bobbing about for days in the sea. Molly didn't say a thing. She knew it was all her fault. They dried their clothes, and as soon as the wings of the chair were quite dry too, they sat in it, and Chingy cried, "Home, wishing chair, home!" They flew home. Molly jumped off the chair as soon as it arrived in the playroom and ran to her money box. She tipped out all of her money. Here you are, Chingy, she said. I'm going to pay for the fish ride myself. It was all my fault. I'm very sorry, and I won't be that silly again. Do forgive me. Oh, well, that's very nice of you, Molly, said Chingy, and he gave her a hug. Of course we forgive you. All is well.
Bird making a nest.
There's a bird making a nest. Okay.
It's a migrator.
All is well that ends well. We're home safe and sound. He changed Molly's money into a big gold piece and gave it to a blackbird in the garden, asking him to take it to the merman. That's the end of that adventure, said Chingy. Well, let's hope on our next one we will be much, much happier. And that is the end of that chapter. Okay, so what I was thinking about in this chapter is how does Enid Blyton, the author of this book, the top there, how does she think of all these amazing adventures? How does she think of, well, maybe they'll go to a disappearing island and it's a girl. Enid is a girl. Well, she's a woman. And how does she think of, like, oh, a merman on a fish will take them in for a piece of gold? You know, it's that kind of creativity that just comes. And I think it comes with practice. And so what I want you to do in your writing journals today, and we'll share them in our next Zoom tomorrow, is an adventure. I want you to think of a place that the wishing chair could take Molly and Peter and Chingy and give me a setting. So where are they going? What land are they going to? And give me maybe a few new characters, and if you're up for it, a problem, and if you're really on a roll, give me a solution. Okay? But the thing that I really want is the land that you're choosing, and the characters that come with that land. And then maybe we could think together of a problem solution if you can't think of one. Alright, guys.
Mom, the chair is coming into a character.
The chair is a character, so you can add the chair into your story. Alright.
And I'm making a whole book.
Be kind, and I will see you soon.